Right. Mr. Madlala, just a couple of aspects. On the day of the incident, the 26th of October, 2014, you mentioned that alcoholic drinks were bought. Did you partake of any of those alcoholic drinks?
Oshilo ukuthi nge 26 ka October 2014 kukhona ke utshwala obathengwa ngabe oke wathatha ichaza khona laphana ephuzeni mhlawumbe lobo tshwala.
Yeah, in fact umuntu wayesendlini wonke ngaphandle kwamakheli nengane bekaphuza.
Yes, I partook in that liquor, and in fact every occupant of the house except for Kelly's mother and as well as the children, they partook in that alcohol.
What were you drinking, and if so, how many did you drink?
Ubuphuza ini nokuthi uphuze kangakanani beniphuza ke utshwala bunjani
Mina bengiphuze Heineken usenzo.
Myself and Senzo were drinking Heineken engakanani
Kwakwamakhens nje Heineken. Shoot mina mhlawumbe ngase ngithathe 3 mangicabanga.
There were Heineken cans. I should estimate that I had already taken 3 of those cans.
And what was the state of your sobriety on the day?
Wena ke mhlawumbe ubudakiwe bungadakiwe.
Ya bengingadaki ukuthi ngidakiwe. Ngeke ngidakwa makana amathathu.
I wasn't completely drunk. I wouldn't say so. I wouldn't be completely drunk or made completely drunk or intoxicated of the 3 cans of liquor.
Because nalo leli start I don't think laseliphelile.
Even the 3rd can, I don't think it was finished. It was completely consumed.
Are you an occasional drinker or a regular drinker?
Wena ke ungumuntu ophuza ngeenkathi or uvamisile nje ukuthi uphuze ngenjwayelo?
Ngiphuza mangithanda. Makuthanda mina. But ngiyaphuza nje utshwala ukuthi ngiphuza, but ngiphuza mangithanda.
Whenever I feel like consuming liquor, I do. I wouldn't say that I drink regularly, but whenever I want to drink, I do.
And how was visibility on the night in question, the evening in question?
Ngalokho busuku mhlawumbe ukukhanya bekunjani ukukhanya okwenza ukuthi kubonakale okanye kungabonakali bekunjani?
Bekukhanya.
It was lit. It was lit.
What was the source of light?
Yini into yenza ukuthi kukhanye lapho?
Noma nginayisho ukuthi yini ngikangona TV yayidlala but lokukhanya nje endlini. Kwakubonakala because kwase kulithi.
I cannot point anything in particular as such because even the TV was playing. It was late in the house because it was late already.
Because if bekumnyama bengeke ngibone umuntu ongenile ukuthi nangu umuntu emla. Bengikwazi ukubona ukuthi ife kumnyama.
Now, if it was dark in the house, I wouldn't be able to see that there's a person that has just gotten into the house. I wouldn't be able to say there is a person standing over there.
You described the shot that you heard whilst you were there in the kitchen. Did you hear any other shots?
Oke wasitathela ke ngokuxhuma kwesibhamu ngenkathi nisekitchen khona ke okunye ukuxhuma okanye ukuxhuma okunye kwesibhamu oke wakuzwa.
As for the into yamashot angazi mangaka amashot but ngaye ngezwe i1 angazi ma engaka but ngayi le i1 yona yaqhuma ka i1 yangivala amadlelo sithi ngize ngibalekele ekamereni.
Now
So angeke ngisho ukuthi mangaki.
I cannot say how many of the gunshot sounds took place there. The very first one that deafened my ear is the one, or my ears, sorry. The very first one that deafened my ears, that's the one that I actually heard. Thereafter, I cannot say as to how many gunshots went off. because I then ran into the bedroom.
And when you left the bedroom, did you see where the other persons were? Well, I'm sorry, when you left the kitchen, did you see where the other persons were?
Mausuka ke ngasekitchen, uye wabona ke abanye abantu bona bebekuphi?
Angizange ngibone ukuthi ubaba because ngabalanga ekamereni. Ngabalanga ekamereni.
I did not see the respective positions of people that were inside of the house because I fled into the bedroom.
Ukuthi babaleka abangena kupha ngeke ngikwazi ukusho ukuthi benze njani because ngabalanga abashiya like ingakungena ekamereni.
As to whether they fled and they went where, I cannot also say, because I ran and got myself into the bedroom. I left them there when I ran into the bedroom.
Now, you say you pointed out accused number 2 as the second suspect who was in the house. You described his clothing, that he had a hoodie. Are you able to describe his features?
Uye wakhomba ke ummangalelo wesibili ukuthi omnye wabantu abangenile okanye abangeneleli abangena khona lapha endlini nokuthi ke ubegcoke ihoodie. Kwazile ke ukuphana ke ngencazelo ukuthi ubebuka kanjani.
Usho muphi lo wesibili
Ukhombe accused number 2.
number 2. Noma ngeke ngamchaza kakhulu but umuntu oke wambona awukazi udideko yena.
Even though I may not have had a closer, a very close reaction with him, but a person that you once saw like that, it's not easy for you to forget them.
Yes. But is there anything perhaps outstanding, anything that you notice about him?
Ngabe khona into egqamile nje eyikhethile ngaye oke wayibona?
Engakusho ijacket ewood ngoba wayengene egqoka ijacket ewood.
What I could say that it was a hoodie jacket because when he entered the house, he was having a hoodie on his head.
Yes.
Emude
And he was tall
compared to lo qala wayenza amadoda.
in comparison with the one that had the dreadlocks.
Yes. What else?
Nokuphi okunye?
Enye into engayinothisa intshebe yakhe la wayenento ngathi ngazi bebiza ngani la and ekhathe u4 corner enentshebe nafu la wayikalela ngayitrinyiwe futhi.
He had a all round the mouth and the chin kind of a beard, and as well as just underneath the lower lip. At that bend of the lower lip, there was a bit of some hair as well there.
Yes, you said something about trimming.
Yes, I trimmed
It was trimmed around about the mouth and the chin.
Yes. Anything else?
Khona okunye mhlawumbe ukhumbula? No.
Now, for how long were you and Longwe outside to smoke?
Nimisikhathi esingakanani ngaphandle?
I'm sorry, you and Togo. For how long were you and Togo outside to smoke?
Siyaxolisa wena nomthoko nibe ngaphandle isikhathi esingakanani niloko nibhema lapho?
akubanga isikhathi esikhulu kakhulu. Akubanga isikhathi esikhulu kakhulu.
It wasn't a long time.
Hamba 10 minutes.
Perhaps about 10
Akubanga isikhathi
minutes.
eside kakhulu.
It wasn't a very long time. It wasn't a very long time outside.
Nanokuthi masibuya ngasangena sasesima ngaphandle futhi. Phambi komnyango wasekitchen.
Futhi masibuya.
Masibuya ngithi saphe mina ngaphandle kwefence. So masibuya sabuya sama lapha ngasekitchen. So senzo azoma lapha mwe saxoxa lapho.
And further that, upon our return into the yard, we did not go inside of the house. We went and stood just closer to the kitchen door where Senzo also appeared and he stood by the door, by that kitchen door.
And in the total time that you spent outside before re-entering the house, so how long would you say it was, more or less?
Mungasibekisela nje mhlawumbe ukuhlambisa nje ukuthi nathatha isikhathi esingakanani ngaphandle ngibhema senimile laphayana usenze semnyango zonke lesikhathi
xoxana manga isikhathi nje mangathiwa mhlawumbe boma 20 minutes or so
sisonke
sesixoxana ngase saxoxa la ngaphandle kwesimanga mhlawumbe boma 20 minutes ekuhlangene isikhathi until qhamuke lethi sesiyahamba yini.
That could be about 20 minutes at total, from smoking outside and also standing next to the kitchen door there until such time that Kelly also appeared and said that we're now leaving. I'll estimate about 20 minutes.
And how long after having re-entered the house did the two persons enter into the house? The two intruders.
Seningene endlini wathatha isikhathi esingakanani ukuthi kungene ke labangenelele about two.
Akubanga isikhathi eside kakhulu.
That as well was not a very long time.
Because yenzekile into something to 9.
It was
from half past kuyale mangisho kahle from half past kuyale to 9.
Yeah, that as well did not take a very long time. This happened from 8:30 towards 9 o'clock or going up.
Did you see how Longo arrived there?
Uye wabona ukuthi uLongo wafika kanjani okanye ngani?
Angimazi lo wafika kanjani. Angibanga nasikhathi sasingakhuluma naye.
I don't know how he got there, because we didn't even have time to talk, myself and him.
But when you went outside to smoke, were there any cars outside?
Mawuphuma ke okanye maniphuma ke niyobhema ngaphandle ngabe kwakhona ke imoto ngaphandle?
Yeah, bekhona ipolo elisemva kwemoto yasenzo eli-red.
There was a red Polo which was parked behind Senzo's vehicle.
On the premises or outside the premises?
Ngaphakathi.
Inside of the premises.
And when you took the deceased to hospital after loading him into his vehicle, what happened to that red Polo?
Uma nithatha ke lo mufi nimfaka emotweni we BMW nimisa esibhedlela. Kwenzakaleni ke ngale Polo le ebomvu?
Angazi kwenzakalani ngalo. Angikhumbuli ngiphinde ngilibona nje angikhumbuli. Ngisho angikhumbuli ngiphinde ngilibona.
I don't know what became of it. I do not remember seeing it again.
Now, you say the deceased head was resting on you as you were taking him to the hospital. Are you able to say what his state was when you arrived at the hospital?
Uthi-ke umufi ikhanda lakhe beli lele phezu kwakho. Ungakwazi ukusho ukuthi-ke isimo sakhe sempilo ngaleso sikhathi sinimthatha nimsa esibhedlela ukuthi besinjani ubenjani.
Kulokho angeke ngachaza kakhulu lokho ukuthi ube kanjani. Because wonke umuntu bekhuluma naye la emotweni. Because sanikwa nethawulo ukuthi simvale ngakho bona kunethawulo ngathi light blunyana. Esanikwa lona li face cloth nje.
No.
Ukuthi simvale ngalo la.
That I wouldn't be able to say exactly what was happening with the deceased or the state of health of the deceased at the time. Because I remember everybody was talking to him, trying to encourage him to stay awake. I remember further that there was a towel, light blue in color, that was then taken out to say that we should use it and place it on his wound.
Now, after the incident, when you eventually went to Melbourne to sleep there, was there any discussion with other persons regarding the case, the incident itself?
Manje ke emva kokuthi lesigameko sehlakale okanye senzeke emva kwalokho kwaba ukuthi seniya eMalberton niya khona ke uma nifika khona eMalberton seniyaxoxa ngabe khona okanye kuye kwaba nesikhathi la nifike naxoxa khona seniyatshelana ke ukuthi isigameko kwenzakalani ngabe sesaba khona lesi sikhathi esinjalo?
Yeah, ngicabanga sike saba khona because kwafika uyena ubaba lo mfana lo uye wafika waxoxa ke la
Ubaba lo
mfana kaLulongo.
Okay. Yes, I think there was a stage where there was some reflection of the incident, and because I remember that Longo's father arrived, and this matter was then reflected upon in terms of conversations.
Yes, what was discussed?
Kwakhulunywa kwathini?
I think ndiyaqala fika ibuza wabuza ngami kuyena uGesh bamchazela ukuthi umngane kaSenzo Dumelo.
I think the first thing that he actually inquired about was myself, and then Kelly and them informed him that this is Senzo's friend, Dumelo.
Then abunye ilento ukuthi ambuza uthi ukuthi afuni ukuthi aye eholding yena ahambe. So I think kwaba ingane ke problem kodwa sanomntana.
Now the other thing that he wanted to establish, and I'm referring to Chico himself, that to Kelly, he said that wouldn't you want to go on a holiday? And I remember during that time she had a child, so she couldn't accept that offer.
Now, mention in these proceedings have been made of a person by the name of Soweto Mandlazi. Do you know that person?
Kukhona lelo gama ke Soweto Mandlazi. Uyamazi lo muntu lo?
Yeah, ngiyamazi.
Yes, I know him.
Yes.
I know Soweto Mandlazi.
Can you explain to the court how you know him?
Ungaqatsela inkantolo ukuthi umazi kanjani lo Soweto Mandlazi?
Ngimazi ngoSifiso Meyiwa.
I know him through Sifiso Meyiwa.
Yes, and you've already said Sifiso Meyiwa was the deceased brother.
Also kushilo lokho ke ukuthi uSifiso ongu umfowabo Mufyanisho.
Yes.
That's correct.
Yes.
Wafika naye lekhaya ni sahlala nabedani saxoxa ke
Amaka wafika enaye.
wafika noSifiso ekhaya yes.
Ubani?
uSoweto lo Mandla.
Okay. Soweto Mandlazi came with Sifiso at home.
So wangitshela ukuthi uzobe wangichazela ukuthi lo mfowethu uzobenza incwadi ngoSenzo.
And then told me that this a particular brother of mine is going to be authoring or doing an autobiography pertaining Senzo.
So wacela ukuthi ke ngimsize ke because mina bengiclose noSenzo. So ngisho yonke into nje ekukhuleni kwethu because uzowenza incwadi. So ngamtshela ngale nto yokukhula kwethu into ebesizenza nami nami.
And then he inquired about how we grew up, the growing up of Senzo, and I told him how we grew up together, myself and Senzo.
Yes.
Ngokuhamba kwesikhathi ukuthi angazi kahle ukuthi because lesikhathi saSoweto saqondana nalesikhathi sakaButhelezi. So
Now, I don't know exactly about how things happened there, because this Soweto's time or interaction coincided with that of Buthelezi.
because beku 2019 nangaleso sikhathi befika kumina.
Because it was 2019 even at the time that they came to me.
Yes.
So ngabona sekubhalwe ezinye izinto emaphepheni manje engingazikhulumanga nalo Soweto.
Now, I then observed some things that were written on the papers, things which I did not even divulge to Soweto.
Yes.
Then mangibona lezo zinto ne, so sadecide ukuthi ngeke because nomthoko I think wayekhona kuleyo nto kwakhiwa kwale ncwadi le since naye umngani wethu. So masibona lezo zinto lezi eshiwe lo Soweto lo Apollo sa end up sisibona lezi zinto ayibhala la kusizinto besizisho kuyo kwamele ukuthi sambe somvulela icase.
Now, when we realized that there are things that were written there, things which we did not furnish this Soweto man, because I think even Togo as well agreed with me. He could see that there were certain things that were put in that material that he had authored, and which we disagreed with. And we then decided that we should then go and lay a charge against him, because these are things that we never said to him.
The mention in these proceedings has also been made of a documentary that was flighted on Netflix that was produced by 1010 Films. Do you know anything about it?
Yes.
Ngabe khona ukwaziyo ngalokho with Netflix documentary 1010 Films.
Yes, khona ngiwazi. Before lapho ngesiqale kuyena lo Soweto. Angimazi ukuthi incwadi wayenzela ukuthi ithengiswe just because of imali or wayenzela cause abantu bayithenga manje ibhalwe into engekho yonke le yancwadi.
Now, before we get to that, I don't know what was this Soweto's intentions pertaining the authoring of that book. Whether did he author that book so that it can be bought, or was he intending to generate some sales on that book that he had generated? Ngoba uthi kwenzakalani?
Azikho izinto ezibhalwe kule yancwadi ezake zashiwa yimi ezikuyona le yancwadi.
Because there's nothing that is inside, or the content of that book has got nothing to do with what I had told him.
Yes.
Because me afike ekhaya ngamtshela ngokukhulwa kwami noSenzo up until ngizofika kule incident eyenzeka khona lapha eForce.
Because when he arrived at home, I narrated to him about how myself and Senzo grew up together, up until such time that we got to the stage of that incident that transpired in Foslores.
Yes.
So ngaxakeka mase kuthiwa there were no intruders ngathula ngathi hayibo.
I got confused when it was now said that there were no intruders. I got confused.
Which means umuntu onale yancwadi kusho unencwadi engekho because yonke into ayibhale lapha ayikho.
That means that the person that is in possession of that book is actually in possession of an item that is worthless. It's as good as not having a book in their possession, because whatever it is that is written inside of that book, it's not true, or it's not there. It's worthless.
Yes. Can you then tell the court about the Netflix documentary?
Ungatshela inkantolo nge-Netflix, i-documentary le ye-Netflix.
Yeah, i-documentary ngayenza.
I did a documentary.
Nayo ngiyenza ngoba kufike uSifiso ekhaya uSifiso manje kwaphinde kwafika uSiya lo akubukazini wakhe. Bengicela ukuthi ngenze le documentary.
And what actually motivated me or compelled me to do it is the fact that since Sfiso came together with Sia, the cousin, they came and tried to beseech me to do that documentary or become a part of that documentary.
And abafikanga ngosuku olulodwa.
And they did not all come on the same day, on the same day.
Waqale kwafika uSifiso kwase kufika uSi.
The first person that came was Sifiso, thereafter came Siya.
Yes.
Ngase ngiya because babefuna nezithombe futhi izithombe nganginazo kwicamera yami. Khona icamera bengihlezi ngihamba naso. Babefuna nezithombe ke zami noSenzo ezikule camera.
Now they also were looking for the photographs that were in my camera. There's a camera that I would usually be traveling around with, which depicted myself and Senzo on the pictures. They also wanted those photographs that were there.
Yes.
So after sengiyenzile sekufike bona ke ngavuma ukuyenza lelo kuya because babefika labantu ukuqala ngaqale nganqaba kwaze bafika omunye ngagcina sengivumile ke nami.
Now, I eventually gave in to their request or to their pleadings. They kept on coming, so but they persuaded me. Eventually, I gave in to it.
Yes.
Sagcina ngagcina ngiyenzile ke documentary nalabantu base 1010 films.
So
Ngabanika nale ithombe ke saba neagreement kuzona.
now I then eventually became part of that documentary, and there was an agreement that was drawn that has to do also with the photographs, which they requested of me that I should, finish them with.
And the role that you played in the documentary, is it different from the evidence that you gave to me?
Iqhaza walidlala lapha mhlambe ke iqhaza elihlukene nobufakazi obulethela enkantolo.
Ayi akukho okuhlukile because bangenzisa the very same thing engayenza mhla ngiya kusenzo.
No, there isn't any difference there because they led me to do what I did on the day when I went to Senzo.
Now, finally, Mr. Madlala, have you ever attended an identity parade where the accused were present?
Ngabe ikhona ikhomba parade oke waya kuyo lapho abamangalelwa ababekhona kuyo?
Ayi.
No, there isn't.
When was the very first opportunity that you saw the accused?
Ithuba lakho lokuqala lokuthi ubone abamangalelwa la enkantolo kwaba nini? Kwaba lenze kanini?
Lenzeka ngifika la ecourt.
The very first time that I saw the accused persons was here at court. It happened here at court.
When was that?
Bekunini?
Noma ngasayikhumbula idate but last time ngifika nje la ecourt because ngaba yimina witness yokuqala engangisendlini ngafika ngazotestify ngalelo langa ke lelo.
On that very day, because I was the first witness that had access to the house, that came to testify before this honorable court. And I cannot remember the date though. I cannot remember the date though. But it was on that day.
No. You've already pointed out accused number 2 as the second suspect who was in the house. What enabled you to recognize him as a person who was in the house?
Usuke wamkhomba ke lo mangalelo wesibini njengomnye wabantu bebekhona laphana endlini abangeneleli. Ngasho ke ukhona kanjani ukuthi ungamkhomba ukuthi uyena?
Njengoba ngithi makungalelo khuze khona endlini. Usenzo khathi impress embambe izandla embambe ngesandla zokuthu zakhe lesandla sala. Ngasondela mina ngizoshaya kuyena.
Now, as I have already indicated earlier, that Senzo, with both of his hands, got hold of his upper arm and pinned him against the wall. And there's a demonstration that the upper arm was sort of pinned in a crucifixion manner, and that both of the arms, or both of the hands of Senzo were on the upper arms. And then at that time, that's when I also went and threw my blows against him. Threw the blows against the intruder.
nanokuthi-ke umuntu makwambona kunzima ukuthi ungakwazi ukumbona mase umbona kunzima ukuthi ungangambona umuntu makwambona before especially ukuthi ngeke ungakwazi ukumbona.
Now further, that if you once saw a person and you happen to see the person again, it would be difficult for you not to recognize this person when you see them the second time around.
Is there anything specific perhaps that enabled you to recognize him?
Ngabe khona into ethize mhlambe ekhethile enza ukuthi ukwazi ukumbona okanye ukumkhumbula ukuthi kuye lo?
Angeke ngize ngichaze kakhulu kulokho but ngiyambona ukuthi uyena angithi ngayenza i-deparate yokuqala azange ngibone muntu why ke manje ngizosukela yena if bengangayingani ngile deparate ngidile ngikhomba umuntu ongekho ngiyambona kahle yena ukumbona.
Now I saw him clearly. I cannot give an ample explanation as to why am I saying that it was him. Isn't it so that I went to an ID parade and I could say that there isn't any person that I'm recognizing on the lineup of people that were at the ID parade? Why would I then point at the wrong person when knowing very well this is a wrong person? It is for that matter that when I saw him, when I got an opportunity to see him again, I was then able to say, it is him.
And now uyakwazi.
And even he himself knows that. It doesn't mean that he doesn't know. He knows it.
Ukwazi kahle lo.
He knows it very, very well.
What does he know? You say ukwazi kahle lo.
Ukwazi yini njengoba ushilo ukwazi kahle lo.
Ngisho ukuthi ngendlela esasiclose ngayo eduze kwakhe naye.
The reason why I'm saying that is because the distance, the closeness, or the range, or the proximity that we had, myself and him,
Ngeke ukuthi naye akangibonanga.
it is not going to be true to say that he did not see me. He wouldn't say that he didn't see me, because I was able to see him as well.